So look, you guys are going to complete the square. When you guys get it on your test next week or your quiz, I give you a really basic one where the numbers aren't complicated. I'm not going to give you decimals, at least for the b value, when you divide and all of that. Okay, then from there, what I'm going to have you guys do is mandatory express it into vertex form. So take standard form, rewrite it into vertex form. But then I'm going to keep going and I'm going to solve. So I'm kind of going to do a fork, like, hey, this is a rewrite, and then you guys keep going down to go to solve. And then I'll kind of show you a very rough draft of a graph, because then when you guys solve it, you're finding your x-intercepts, which are your two plots, right, on the x-axis. And then I'll just kind of draw a messy little parabola where, hey, this is what you're solving. So look, you need all of this when you go into im2. You need all of this because you don't just stick to quadratics. You go to logs, exponential functions, cubic functions, square root functions. So everything you guys are learning are skills that you're going to move into im3 with. Okay, so that's why I'm going to do the solving. I'm going to do the rewrite to vertex form because you need it for im3, and then we're also going to solve it because you need it for im3. Okay, so but only one of them is mandatory, the rewrite. If you keep going for solving, I'll give you extra credit on quizzes or tests if you continue to solve it. Okay, so look, you're going to be given a quadratic in standard form. Okay, yes, this is factorable. Yes, you can use a quadratic formula, but you have to solve it. You have to know how to solve a quadratic factoring, quadratic formula, and completing the square. You got to know all three, okay? So what happens is that we can't use the other two. We're going to complete the square. You have no choice. You have to solve it this way. Okay, first you want to make sure it's in standard form, which it is. Ax squared bx plus c equals 0. Perfect. Okay, second step is take the constant term, the c term, and jump over the equal sign and bring it to the right, and then we're going to make space saver boxes. Now, afterwards, you guys don't have to write boxes. You could just write blank, just leave space. Okay, so this is my c term. I'm going to move it over the equal sign. So I'm going to get x squared plus 14x. I'm going to put my space saver box, negative 51. So now it's a positive 51. And I'm going to put my space saver boxes, right? So easy. Just take the constant over. Okay. Now, this is where you need this formula, b over 2 or b divided by 2 squared. It's non-negotiable. You have to use that formula. You guys are good with it. And whatever number you get, that's what's going to go into your two space saver boxes. Okay. Keep going. Okay. So, your b, whoopsie, I forgot my x. Okay. Your b value is 14. You guys agree? Okay, so if I grab my b value, fraction 2 squared. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys to solve it in 2 steps. I know you guys can throw it into a calculator and get, right, you guys, whoopsie, you guys can throw it into a calculator, hit equal, and you're like, oh, I have 49. Okay, yes, but I want you to do it in 2 steps. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 squared is 49. That's the box number that I'm going to fill into the space savers here and here. So 49 is now going to go into this and this. Okay, so now what's the next step? You're going to factor the left, and you're going to sum or arithmetic, add, subtract the right, depending on what the signs are, okay? So here's what I get, right? You're going to get a number on the right, and you'll get a binomial squared on the left. Okay, so here's what I mean. When you look at this, here, let me rewrite it so you guys can see it clearly. And so this is what I have, 51 plus 49. Okay, just to bring this down so you can see it. Okay, I want you guys to factor this left side, and I want you to add, subtract this side, depending what they want you to do. Okay, so if I look at this factoring, this looks really, really easy. What two numbers multiply to 49 but give me 14? 7, right? So look, if you guys didn't believe me and you wanted to do the diamond method or the magic X, what two numbers multiply to 49 but add up to positive 14, positive 7, positive 7? Okay, you don't have to do that work though. I just did it because this is the first time you're seeing it. I'm trying to be thorough. The reason why I have you guys solve it in 2 steps, this b over 2 squared, is notice, what do you have here? A 7. That's what these two numbers are for the factor. So if you guys do that b over 2 squared correctly, that number always goes here. So if you solve it in 2 steps, the b value divided by 2 is always going to be filled in here. So this is not necessary. If you would like to do it, you can, but it's not necessary. Okay, and now what's 51 plus 49? 100. Yeah? So I'm writing a lot, but you could definitely skip. You guys can see you can skip steps and condense the writing. Okay, now you are almost done. This is an awesome place to be. Okay, so this is where we're going to fork. Mandatory, go from standard form, rewrite it to vertex form. Okay, so if I have this, all you have to do is take the 100 and bring it over the equal sign, and notice, set it equal to y, and that is vertex form. X plus 7 squared, take that 100, jump over the equal sign, I get negative 100, and now that's expressed in vertex form. So we went from standard, and you rewrote it to vertex form. Okay, this is mandatory. If you want the extra credit, so extra credit, if you guys solve it and you keep solving, by the way, it's just 2 more steps. So you're like, hey, I'll take that extra credit. All right, you guys know inverse operations. What's the opposite of adding? Subtracting. What's the opposite of dividing? Multiplying. Okay, so you guys have a square here. What would be the opposite of squaring? You guys know it. Yeah? Yeah, square rooting. Okay, so the inverse operation to squaring is square rooting. And this is a huge im3 concept that you're going to go all through inverse operations. The inverse operation of squaring is square rooting. Okay, so you square root the left and the right. When you square root a square, that radicand just comes right out. It does not change. X plus 7, it comes right out. Okay, what's the square root of 100? 10. And that's why I'm giving you guys nice clean numbers right now, so that, you know, it's not too confusing. Okay, so plus or minus 10. Now you take that negative 7, positive 7, but it's going to become a negative 7, plus or minus 10. Do your 2 cases, like you did with the quadratic formula. And I get, what do I get? 3 and negative 17. And this is your answer. And by the way, not that I'm not going to have you guys graph, but if you were in honors, im2, they would then have you 1, 2, 3, there's this, here's negative 17, I'm cheating, but here's negative 17, and then you guys would find your midpoint, and you guys would graph. So if you were in honors, they would say, hey, here's this standard form quadratic, re-express it into vertex form, and by the way, we already know this is negative 7, negative 100. That's what the vertex is, because if you express it in vertex form, boom, you got your vertex. Here's it solved. It's actually not too bad. I mean, and that's really what im3 is you guys have to understand, bless you, a graph, standard form, vertex form, inverse form. You should be able to graph, rewrite in any way, and just kind of do all your loops, your donuts. guys graph from here because you guys will have to graph factor form. Oh, by the way, so you're not getting your graphs, your quizzes today because I didn't, because of everything, the young man, that I'll see tomorrow if you guys, if you were absent to take the quiz. And then once I get a full day of kids at quiz, I'll give it back to you guys. But it's not getting counted for your progress report, so it is, yeah, okay. Here's the other thing. If I have some of your word searches, your extra credit Halloween or HOCO word search, I haven't submitted your progress reports yet. So I'll probably gonna do it today. So if you guys want to submit them because you want those 4 points bump on your percent, if you give them to me today, I can put them in. If you want me to find yours, find it, or if you have it, just, you know. And then I believe the retest, I'll bring up announcements, but I think the retest was supposed to be this Friday, or no, it was next Thursday. Do you guys remember? I agree in my head because they just left. Okay, whatever. If the retest was supposed to be this week, I think I'm just going to push it to next week because... Okay.